Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Raha, Hodash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, you hopeful elect, on the highway and hedges, making your body a living sacrifice, according to Romans 12 and verse 1. Shalom to you sincere believers as well, which consist of men and women. Shalom, Brakatham, and as always, a Bible Ball. This is your brother Zakar Aban coming back with another video. This will be pretty quick, going into keeping your sanity. So I'm gonna just read it off of my other phone, but pretty much is going into keeping your sanity. And I just typed it on Google, and it says to maintain one mental and emotional stability, composure, rational thinking, especially during stressful or challenging times, right? And we are in the time, this little season of being challenged by the cruel rulers. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked is Esau, Edom, starting off first and foremost with the top Edomites, which is the Ish people, the big nose with the little hats on their heads. All right, Amalek. Those are the top ones that are affording the evil. So we're gonna drop this. Now I'm gonna read. Let's go to the book of Proverbs 4. Let's grab a few, and that'll be pretty much it. Like I said, it'll be pretty quick, but it's keeping your sanity, right? And the ways that we keep our sanity is doing what we find in our book, right? In the books. The instructions, following the instructions of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai. That's how we keep our sanity. That's how we keep being stable. Okay, so let's grab Proverbs 4:23. KJV, keep thy heart, your heart goes toward your mind, with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. NLT, guard your heart above all else. Guard what? Guard your mind above all else. And like I said, the way of staying within the right frame of mind, which is being in the right spirit, is by doing the things that Yahweh Shai said to do. Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Matthew 17. Make this quick point. Let's read Matthew 17:20. I'm gonna go right back to Proverbs 4. Okay, so this is how we stay within the right frame of mind, within being in the right spirit. This is Matthew 17, start verse 20. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Here's the point, verse 21. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. Now we go into this story. It goes into the disciples pretty much had a hard time casting out a demon. But the point is here, Yahweh Shai gave the blueprint of how to get rid of, spirits, bad spirits, demons, which we are all subject to, because we are in this weak flesh. This is constantly a battle, right? This is constantly, war, right? As it says, spiritual wickedness in high places. So we are constantly at war, okay, and battling. It says, red letter in this Yahweh Shai, howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. So that's one of the ways we guard our minds, we guard our way of thinking, our spirits, is by following the instructions, by prayer, by fasting, okay, by studying, so on, to make sure we are always in the right and correct spirit. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life, right? The course of our life. So we want to make sure we are, once again, following the instructions to make sure, we are on that right track, right? That right track, which is going to lead to what? The kingdom of heaven, okay? Being delivered. Because, like I was saying, we are all subject to being attacked by demons, being attacked by spirits, right? Matter of fact, let's go here. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter 5. Salakia. So let's go First Peter 5 and let's start verse 6. Okay, verse 8 is the point. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Adonai Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time. Okay, which is what give you honor. And that great honor is going to come to the house of David, the believers, the elect. When you get beaten up in the chariots, deliverance. Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. And the ways you do that, once again, as I just read in the book of Matthew 17 and 21, is by prayer. Okay? When you pray to Yahweh B'Shem Shai. And when you pray to the Most High, you can't just, think that you can be, wicked and the Most High is going to, deliver or answer your prayer, because that's not how it goes. Right? A sinner, the Most High does not hear. Should be the book of John 9 and 31. Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. Be sober. Be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. But what? Be sober. Okay? Now, the adversary, the devil, yes, this, is talking about the spiritual demon Satan, okay, because the Most High uses spirits to stir up things, but ultimately it goes into what? The physical counterpart as well, which is Esau Edom. When you go to the Revelation 6, that red horse, right? So that's Esau Edom. Okay, he coming only to do what? To kill and to destroy. When we go to the book of John chapter 10, right? Like I said, spiritual wickedness in high places. The Most High gave the world unto the wicked. The wicked is Esau Edom, the red people, the so-called Caucasians. Starting off with the top Edomites, which is the Ish, small hats. So let's get the word for sober.
Strong's G 3525. Napho.
It goes into what? To be sober, to be calm, and collected in spirit. Right? To be sober, to be calm, collected in spirit. So we got to make sure, as I grabbed it earlier, Proverbs 4 and 23, that we are guarding our heart, guarding our minds, doing the things that is pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, following the instructions. Okay? As all scriptures, was written for our learning. So we are to, read the scriptures and actually take heed unto it. Making sure that we are always in the right frame of mind. Because like I was saying, all of us are subject unto, spirits. That's contrary to Yahweh B'Shem Shai. So it says to be sober, to be calm, and collected in spirit, to be temperate, dispassionate, circumspect. So we want to be what? Circumspect. We want to watch. Okay? Always want to, watch. Right? So let's read a little bit more. It said be sober. Let's read it in the NLT. Stay alert, watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. All right? Devil deceiver. Okay? It says, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Last one in NLT, stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Be rooted. You have to grow, right? This is why, not to go off topic, you should not be listening to any person. Okay, you got to test them out. You got to see what they're about. Because we see a lot of men that, claim that they from the Most High are really false prophets. Okay, teaching all types of wayward doctrine, so on, with the different camps. So stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that your Christian brothers, Hamashiach Yom, which means, followers of the anointed, brothers and sisters all over the world are going through the same kind of suffering you are. So it's not strange, right? We're all suffering. We're all going through our battles. It may look a little bit different, but the thing is we all are, going through this burden. Okay, because ultimately, we are not in our kingdom. This is not our rest. In the book of Micah, chapter 7 and verse 9. All right, matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it real quick, just double check. But this is Micah 7 and verse 9. So like it should be. Salakia, Micah 2 and verse 10. Salakia, misquoted. It says, Micah 2 and verse 10, arise you and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So this is not our rest. Babylon the Great. You know, in different parts that we are scattered to as well. You know, Jake's, when I say Jake, Israel, you know, Jacob, name change to Israel, so-called Negroes, named American to Spanish, and to the speckled birds, which is likened unto brothers and sisters that may look like a heathen. But the point is, you know, this is not our rest. This is not our kingdom, but primarily right here in Babylon the Great, aka America. You know, this place is bitter, right? It's very, very bitter. So good here. So it's 1 Peter 4 in verse let's see, make sure. 1 Peter 4 and verse no, we're good here. And 7, right? Grab one more. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. NLT, the end of the world is coming soon, right? Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And we are hastening, you know, that day. 2 Peter 3 and verse 12. Therefore, the earnest and discipline in your prayers. Therefore, be you earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Like I was saying, this is one of the ways that keeps us in the right frame of mind, keeps us in the right spirit, right? This is what makes, you know, make sure that we are always, you know, striving, okay, that we are on the right track, because we all can, you know, get into that mode, you know, into the mood, right? We shouldn't have the mindset that we are good to go. Any of us can be, you know, swept away. So that's why we say, all the right to Zah, we be able to hope for elect. So the end of the world is coming, which goes to an age. Therefore be earnest and disciplined in your prayers, right? And watch out. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is pretty much goes into what keeping your sanity, right? And about in one of the ways by keeping your sanity, Matthew 17 and 21, you know, it's prayer and fasting, right? Studying, so on, so on. So I'm in it there, giving our praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahah, Hudash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel that do labor and teach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Akim, you hope for elect on the highway and hedges. Making name by a living sacrifice. Shalom, Brakatham, and as always, Abba Ball. On to the next. Shalom. Lord's will.